Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing out there? Let's see. IG Live. I'm always a little behind on this one. All right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How you guys doing on this lovely Tuesday afternoon? Hope all is well. Elaine Proby here, CEO of PROBY'S Tax and Accounting, coming to you guys weekly with great information that you can use personally or in your business. If you're not able to use it yourself, I'm sure you can pass this information on and, get some of your friends on board. You guys hit like and share on this. Hi, Morris. Thanks for jumping on. Argan Cash, thanks for jumping on here. All right. Lerner Smith, thank you. Good afternoon, Elaine from Inez. Hi, Inez. How are you? Hey, Cherise. Thanks for jumping in. Appreciate you guys jumping on here today. We are departing a lot of great information personally and business-wise. A lot of us have a lot of things that we're doing, a lot of business ventures that we're, venturing into. And of course, our personal lives, which is a business in itself, right? So for the most part, what we're trying to do is just make sure that you guys get enough information, free information, lots of great free information that will help you along the way. And so today we want to talk about 3 things that you need to know if you have created a business and didn't use it. Now, the reason I'm discussing this topic today, because I've got asked this question so many times. A lot of clients, a lot of folks have started these businesses, and everyone has a lot of great ideas. You're always thinking about a business idea, no matter what that business idea is, something that you have as a hobby, something that you love to do, something that you have been dreaming about for the longest time. And what happens sometimes along the way, what we do is we go ahead and we form these businesses because we feel that we might be ready to get going on these businesses. And then, of course, something happens along the way, whatever it might be. We may, life changes, right? And so we may never have gotten these businesses off the ground. And I want to talk about 3 things that you guys need to know if this is you. And maybe you have more than one of these businesses. And if you have, I want to make sure that you guys know what to do about it, because some things could come back on you. And of course, you don't want that to happen, right? I mean, you're a business person. You may not have run that business, but you have other businesses that you're going to be doing. So you want to make sure that you know the right things to do. All right. So I want to welcome you guys on here. Great. Hey, Margie, thanks for jumping in. All right. Thank you for the information. I appreciate that. So let's jump right into this, guys. Again, like I said, if you had a business idea a long time ago and you created that business, you decided to get it. Now, especially if you went ahead and incorporated that business, you set everything up, you went ahead and got your business licensing, and you did everything because that's what you was going to venture into. So everything is completely set up. Once again, you wasn't able to get that business off the ground for whatever reason. Things didn't go as planned. So one of the things we want to make sure that you guys understand, there is still a filing requirement. Okay, you still have a filing requirement. If you had incorporated that business, especially here in the state of California or any other state that charges you for having a business entity in that state, what you want to do is make sure, guys, there is a filing requirement because the business is already formed. So once you form the business, it already took on a life of its own. It's its own person. It has its own ID, because what you would have done is gone to the federal government, got an identification number, which is like, the federal identification number. So it already created its own entity if you incorporate it. So that means that it now is a separate entity that has a responsibility. So you have a responsibility to that business, to the government, the state, and the federal guys to file a tax return. Now, a tax return is filed even if you made no money, if it's called an inactive business because you never used it. So how is the government is going to know that you have not operated this business? You must tell them this. They don't know the story, right? So what you have to do is you have to file the taxes. You have to say 0, I didn't make any money. 0, I didn't have any expenses. And this is how they're going to know that 1, you made no money, so you don't owe any taxes. And 2, you don't, you don't have any penalty, which we'll talk about in the next segment. So this is what you must do, guys, is a filing requirements. If you have went ahead, incorporated a business, set everything up, and then, of course, you decided that for some reason you can't operate this business or nothing happened. And I get this a lot. I have a lot of clients that have started a business and they never got to running it. And so they never did anything. And so I'll tell you what the tax consequences are when we get into the next segment. Okay, so again, today we're talking about 3 things you need to know if you started that business, set everything up, but for some reason you didn't get to operate it like you had planned to, what you needed to do so you could be ready and prepared the next go round, so you can get the other business in place, and then you can move forward. Okay, so number one is the filing requirement. Again, you have to file with the federal government because there's an EIN number that was issued to you. So they will be looking for a tax return. They don't know if you made any money. And then the state, if it's a state that you have to pay taxes, especially here in the state of California, you have to file because, again, they don't know that you never operated this business. Okay, so you got to file. That's the first thing you got to do. Secondly, the tax consequences of not filing. So if you decided that you're not running this business anymore, nothing happens, you didn't file the taxes, this consequence is you could be hit with large penalties, right? Large failure to file penalties. Now, the federal will charge you a penalty. There's a percentage based on income, but if you made no money, there's a minimum tax penalty that they will charge you anyway for not filing. Now, if you have a partnership, they will charge you a minimum penalty for each partner in the business. So if it's 2 people, or if it's 3 people, 4 people, whatever it is, they will charge a penalty for each person in the building and in the business, right? So now you have a tax situation without even operating the business. You made no money, had no expenses, and then now you have tax liability, right? Who wants that? So you do not want to have a tax liability on an entity that nothing ever happened. So what you want to do is, one, file those taxes. If you think you're still going to use the business, you file those taxes. And of course, you have 0 tax liability to do, 0 penalty. If you don't, you could wind up with a tax penalty without even having operated that business. You do not want that to happen. And then if it's a state, for instance, and I usually talk about, of course, California, because this is where we are, and it's one of the most taxed states. If it's the state of California, guys, you formed an LLC, if you formed a corporation, there's an $800 minimum tax. Whether you make money or not, whether you operated the business or not, guys, the minute you incorporated, the minute you have a date stamp to say this is the date I started this business, if you did nothing, that $800 started that year, you have to pay for it. So for each one of those years that you did not file any taxes, you did not pay any taxes. For instance, if you had that business incorporated, let's say a year or 2 ago, you will owe $800 plus interest and penalty. Could be up to $1,200 for each one of those years that you have that business inactive, right? Inactive because you never did anything, but because of the simple fact that it's already set. It's always, a lot of us is guilty of doing this. I mean, for some reason, it's not intentional. Of course, things happen. But again, these are things that you have to pay attention to, because if you had an idea of doing a business, you started a business, of course, you're going to eventually run this business or a business anyway. So you want to be responsible. So that's the tax consequences, guys. You can get it from the federal. The minimum tax, especially if it's a partnership or an S corporation, they penalize you dramatically for each partner or each member in there. And if it's a state, for instance, California, there's an $800 minimum tax per year, plus interest and penalty. And you would not have even operated this thing. All you did was gave it a name and you got it registered, right? So now you have a tax liability before you even get started. So let's not do that. This is what we want to do. That's why we have these sessions, to avoid exceptional tax penalties or just something that is unnecessary, of course, because you don't want to, first of all, you want to try to save on taxes, and you really don't want to incur penalties when you can avoid it completely. And all you have to do is be responsible and take care of these things, right? Okay, so we'll move on to the third step. Hi, Marjorie again. Hey, Rod, thanks for jumping on. Twin, how you doing? Twin Mac. Okay, so Sharp, thanks for jumping in here. All right, Nashville, thanks you guys for jumping on. We're talking about today the 3 things that you need to do if you created a business, didn't have a chance to operate that business. Highland, thank you for good information. Yes. If you didn't have a chance to operate that business, guys, I just want to let you guys know 3 things that you must do, or else it can fall back on you, okay? So the third thing, guys, this is what you need to do. So I'll give you 3 ideas of what it is that you have to do, right? You need to close the business. Now, if you feel that you have created this name, lovely name, you love it, you want to have some history. Sometimes you want to keep the business open because you may have incorporated, say, 2 or 3 years ago, right? If that is the case and you want the business to have some history, which is always great, especially for credit purposes, So if you have a business that's 3 years old, 4 years old, it's excellent for credit purposes. Even if you hadn't operated that business, it's good that you've had it 2 or 3 years ago. But what happens there is you would then have to pay, like I said, those penalties. If it's in a state like California, you would have to pay each one of those years. And you can bring it current, get it active, get it out of the inactive state, get it active, and you can continue to operate that business. However, if you decide that, okay, this is it, I don't think I'm going to be doing this business anymore. I have another great idea. I'm going to use a whole nother name, a whole nother concept. So you're going to start something different. What you want to do, guys, you want to formally close the business, right? You want to formally close the business. If it's a sole proprietor where you operate as a Schedule C, there's a few things that you may have to close there. And those are, say, your business license. If you went ahead and did a business license, you might want to close that. You want to close that. And let's say if it was in the business of selling, maybe you have obtained a seller's permit. You want to close that out if you're a sole proprietor. So the things that are sole proprietor, the seller's permit, your business license, and any other license that you got to operate the business, you want to close those out, guys. Don't leave them open because you'll be subject to payment, taxes, and licenses, fees. You'll be subject to those things, and you will get billed for those. You'll have a bill from the city of LA. You have a bill from these places if you don't close out properly. So you want to close those licenses out if you are a sole proprietor. And if you are an incorporated business, you formed an LLC or you formed a corporation, especially here in the state of California, you want to dissolve. This is a lot of people just leave it sitting out there. But what you want to do is you want to formally dissolve your corporation, guys. There's a form that you just filled out, maybe a 1-page or a 2-pager, just stating that everybody in the business agreed to close it. You fill out the dissolution paper and filed it with the Secretary of State, and that will close out your business that was inactive. This will cease any more penalties, any more federal or state government looking for a tax return. You have to formally close the business out, and that way you're done with that business. And when you get ready to start up again, whatever other business ideas, you come up with another fancy name, and then you just start all over, get everything registered again, and then you just get moving, right? Because it never stops. So I just want to make this point today, very, very important. Again, I have questions about this all the time. People have businesses that's sitting out there, and taxes and bills can come back on you as well. And of course, being responsible as a business person, just as a responsible individual, of course, you wanted to do things the right way. So what you will do is go ahead and make sure you close these business out, right? So you're done with them. So guys, again, what we're talking about today, the 3 things that you need to know if you have started a business and didn't get to operate it. I will recap those 3 things for you one more time. And so Andy's on. Okay, hey Andy, thanks for jumping on here. I want to recap those 3 things. The first one, guys, is the filing requirement, right? You must file. You form the business entity. You got a name. You got licensing. You've got your state filing. You've got your federal identification number. The federal feds issue this number. You got all that stuff in place. They are expecting you to file a tax return. They don't know you didn't do anything. They don't know you made no money. You have to tell them this. You have to file a return and say, look, I made no money. I have no expenses. I owe you nothing. If you don't tell them this, you'll get a bill because they assume that you make, and the state will say, hey, you got a license to do contracting or XYZ. And I think you may have made $50,000. So here's my $10,000 bill, and I need my money right now. I get this all the time. And then we have to go backwards. We have to file. We have to say, oh, no, hold it, guys. I made no money. I didn't even operate this business. I got your license, but I did nothing, right? So you don't want that to happen because we're constantly going back, and it could cost you unnecessary money once again, just even to fix that, right? Even to fix that. So that's the filing requirements, the tax consequences. Yes, you'll have a failure to file penalty from the federal and the state. There's a minimum penalty the feds give to you, and for each partner that's in, say, the S corporation or the partnership return, you don't need to have that to try to clarify that, to try to see either you have to pay it or try to see how they can waive it. You do not want to have that happen. And so that's number 2, the tax consequences. And if it's a state, especially California, $800 per year, guys, for any incorporated entity, LLC, S corp, corporation. It's an $800 annual. You have to pay whether you made money or not, whether you operate or not. So you don't want to have this plus the interest plus the penalty on top of that. Okay, so you want to make sure that this does not come back on you. They're not looking for you to say, oh, these taxes, you never even operated a business. And number 3, guys, what you need to do. What you need to do. Officially, you want to close out the business. If you are a sole proprietor, close out all your business license, wherever the city is, close that license out. If you got a seller's permit because you were going to be selling merchandise, you went and got a seller's permit, guys, you want to close that out as well. And then if it's a corporation, formally filed a dissolution with the Secretary of State, the state of California, or any other state you're in, you want to dissolve that entity so they know you no longer is operating that business and no one will be looking for you to pay anything, right? So that's it. And then you'll be ready to start over again with another great name, another great concept, another wonderful business idea, and you'll be ready to get going again. Okay. So that's my 3 points today. Very important. The reason I'm talking about this, I get this question. I have a lot of people who have started a lot of businesses who have registered these names and they weren't able to get to them for some reason. And of course, you want to make sure that you do things the right way. All right. So that's it today, guys. I want you guys to hit like and share on this video. Get all your friends on board. Let people get this information. Everyone needs this. This is free information that we're giving out here again at PROBY'S Tax and Accounting. We value you guys. We have a lot of great clients. We value you guys for referring a lot of folks to us. This is how we build the business over the last 35 years. And so we want to continue to share with the community all this information to get you on your feet, keep you personally and your business in tune with what you need to do financially, save on taxes, keep more money in your pocket so you can continue to build wealth. Okay. So you guys leave your questions and your comments below here in the comment. I will come back through here and answer those. If not today, we'll get back to them. And if you have any further questions, call us at PROBY'S Tax and Accounting at 323-290-9034 or visit our website at probiztax.com. Guys, we are here to answer your questions. Our motto is that your success is our business. We need you so we can stay in business, right? So I'm going to make sure you guys are straight. All right. So with that said, on Thursday, we'll be back again with some more vital information for you guys. Thursday, this is very serious Thursday, guys. The eviction moratorium expired the end of July. There's been a lot of talks in Congress trying to extend the stuff, but this is serious information. Everybody needs to know where we are with this. I am sure if not you, you know someone who can use this information. So you want to get them in tune with this so they can find out what's going on with that eviction moratorium, what's happening. Are you able to, lose your apartment, your house, or whatever may happen there? And we'll talk about what it is that you can do about it, how you can get help. So you guys want to tune back in here Thursday afternoon. All right. So with that said, I want you guys to look out for our course that's coming up in a few weeks, where we will teach you guys how to get your business started, how to run and operate a successful business, and how, any business you start, you can make money at it. There's enough money out there for everybody. You just have to do it right. You just have to know what to do so you can do it right. All right. So that's why we're here to help you guys. With that said, I want to get out of here today. Want you guys have a wonderful day. Hope I said hi to everyone on board. And you guys, I would love for you guys to take care of each other and take care of yourself. I'll see you back here Thursday. Bye-bye.